By the way, the Elon meeting yesterday was very kind.
The Twitter,
nice.
You mean the
Yes.
Twitter meeting?
No,
Actually,
it was
yeah.
good.
Tell us what you heard.
Okay, so it was run really, by that terrific CMO, okay, by Leslie Berland. I don't know if you've met Leslie. She's sensational. It was there was comedy, COMITY kind.
Yes.
Where she would ask the questions when Elon would veer, when he would veer too much towards, say, aliens, she'd bring him back.
Got it.
A lot of people came back and were impressed at how much work he had done and how kind he was. And that they were kind of surprised that he wasn't arrogant at all and that he had a great relationship with Leslie, who's important CMO.
Interesting.
And people came back and said, you know what? This is very for real. And he's a respectful man.
Do you believe 1 billion users is feasible?
I think that look, I've never doubted this man's abilities. I was very glad to hear that he was both humble, no condescension yesterday.
Nobody's ever questioned his rigor. I mean,
I think he can do it.
He can get on the assembly line anywhere
Right.
and spot anything that is potentially needs to be
Reminds
dealt
me
with.
of
He
Jerry-
can walk into
No.
into SpaceX as well and do the same thing. I mean,
So I say yes. I think he could
Musk
do it.
is unique.
I was so thrilled that he was, and by the way, he was even fun and funny.
All right, all of which adds up
What-
to absolutely nothing in terms of whether he's actually
Well,
going to
then
follow
why-
through
no,
and buy
what-
this company at 54.20.
But tell me, who has that insight? I worked all night on that insight.
It's great. I think it's very
You
interesting.
just dismissed my
No,
insight.
I said that it's not necessarily connected to the fact that he's going to follow through and buy this company for $44 billion.
okay, that's fine.
Most of which is in
that-
cash coming from him. By the way,
that's
cash
true.
for a guy whose net worth is still one of the highest on the planet, but is obviously down from when Tesla was $1 trillion company.
Right.
By the way, Adam Jonas, Morgan Stanley, has a note today about the auto business in a recession. He writes, apart from Elon, no other auto CEO has rung the bell with a warning on recession. In our view, this could change prior to Q2 earnings season. He mentions Ford noting the rising delinquencies. We expect a chorus from here.
It's interesting because delinquency in this market's very different because they reclaim it. It's actually worth more than what they bought it for, so it'd actually be positive. Did Ford have another recall today, or was that just yesterday?
I don't know. But did you see that Tesla is potentially going to raise price?
I think that's very interesting.
The website reflects higher prices.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps as much as 6,000. I mean, heading into a recession, that's not exactly a grabber.
No, but he does have
if
incredible
we are,
demand.
which it's not clear that we are, but it's possible that we are, and certainly he even intimated you'd think that he would try. That's not easy, but maybe the demand will still be there.
No, I mean, the demand could be there. I think there will be because you can't. Look, if you don't have to advertise, you're just selling out. That's pretty amazing. By the way, Ford should sell its Rivian because why would Amazon need all these trucks, vans, if they're trying to cut back?
Well,
So
eventually Amazon is going to need them. It's not as though their demand eventually.
Eventually.
Yes.
So what do they do? Just park them? Well, let's just park them in a giant Amazon parking lot?
Do you think Rivian's going to be able to make enough of them in a short enough amount of time that it's going to really matter?
I mean, before they... But do you think they might have problems?
No, I'm just saying.
What do you imply?
Amazon wants 100,000 of them eventually, right?
That was...
They're not going to get them this year.
I think that was Bezos that wanted those, not Jassy.
That's interesting how that split is sharpening.
Isn't that something?
How it fooled even Bezos, one of the great innovators at scale. The pull forward in COVID was such a wild card.
Yes.
The algos, nothing could understand what was coming at us.
If Amazon can't understand it.
Now, subletting warehouses. Why would they need all these Rivians? They're subletting warehouses.
Well, they still are delivering millions and millions.
Well, a lot of the analysts say
they're delivering. They're fulfilling millions.
Yeah. And they're still
tens
prime.
of millions.
They're still prime.
Yeah. It's not like Amazon is not doing what it does.
Look,
and they still want to go
the
to
fact that we're making fun of Amazon
same-day
could be a
delivery
significant
consistently.
thing. No, but I just thought that article was, I'm just praising that article because, boy, that was eye-opening. Bezos was just hiring like mad. Jassy goes over from Amazon Web Services to the regular part and says, that's not how we do it. Can you imagine that every day? That's not how we do it, David. That's not how we do it, David.
Meanwhile, it is worth recalling that Amazon Web Services is still the profit engine of this company.
Right. The huge 33/4 of it.
Yeah, only a seventh of the revenue, but the bulk of profitability.
You don't think that Oracle's
and advertising,
coming on
by the way, which also has a very significant margin, but which could be threatened if, in fact, we have a recession, is also a very high margin, high growth business.
Does it matter to you that Oracle had a really good quarter and that even though you might disagree with the Adobe guidance, Adobe had a really good quarter? Is that just irrelevant? I think these companies are rather amazing if they have good quarters.
All right.
I think Meta's going to have a good quarter.
So then why not back up the truck at 350 on Adobe?
Well, let it go.
You
to
have a
340.
3-year time horizon.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I think Sean Tenniel had a good quarter.
Any doubt that, I mean, we mentioned the mega cap tech selling yesterday, but it's outperforming the equal weight S&P last few days. Do you have any doubt that mega cap tech bounces first?
I think mega tech is trying to put in a bottom. I think I asked that question of Meg. Can you imagine what these stocks would do if President Xi were to join the Council of Nations and actually be in favor of the vaccine? I mean, you think any of these stocks, even Alphabet isn't even in China, the stock probably goes up 10%. We're all keying on, we're all kind of, I don't know why more people don't talk about how the fact that China has got us hostage with semis, and it turned out that Russia had food and oil, and that was all you needed to be a great power.